Okay, Algebra 2 fans, today we're going to be looking at long division. That's right, long division with polynomials. We're doing it with polynomials. All right, so first of all, let's refresh our memory. What is long division? Okay, that's when we're going to take 4,732 divided by 13. So this is when you do the, going back to your elementary school days. So we're going to say, how many times does 13 go into 4? It can't do it, so then we go to 47. How many times does 13 go into 47? And we're going to say 3, because 3 times 13 is 39, okay? And then we subtract. And let's see, I got to subtract here, borrow from the 3, 17, so this is 8. Then I bring down the 3. Okay, then we're going to say, okay, that is going to be 13 goes into 83 6 times. So 6 times 13 is 78. And then we subtract and we get 5. And then I have 52. Bring down the 2. Then 13 goes into 52 4 times. And 4 times 13 is 52 when we subtract, and we have a remainder of 0. Okay, so just something to remember. If there is no remainder, then the divisor that's 13. We divided by 13. That's the divisor. Then the divisor is a factor. Okay? So if there's no remainder, then the divisor is a factor. That's as straightforward as can be. All right, so let's look at a polynomial now. So when we do our long division, if we have a remainder, we're going to write it in this format. Well, Q stands for quotient. So 364 is the quotient. So Q is the quotient. Plus R stands for remainder. You could see little r or capital R is the same thing. And then X minus C represents the possible factor that we divided by. All right, so I'm going to get this set up. So I'm going to put my, notice a polynomial where the variables they're all the same variable, and also the letters are in descending, the exponents are in descending order. Okay, if we're missing an exponent, then we have to have a placeholder. We're not missing an exponent here; they're all there. 3, 2, 1, none. All right, so we're going to be dividing by x minus 3, so that goes over here. And then we just write out x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. Now, here's the thing about when we do this long division. Everything has to line up. All your cubes will line up on top of cubes. All your squares will line up on top of squares. All your x's will line up on x's, and all the constants will line up on constants. That's just how it goes. Okay? Now, you have to realize this is very, very easy. We don't worry about this negative 3. We only worry about x, this x right there. And this is what we say to ourselves. This x right here times what is x to the power of 3. Okay? That's all we're saying to ourselves. So x times what is x to the power of 3, and hopefully you'll say x squared. And now where do I put this x squared? It does not go above the 3, because then it doesn't line up. We have to go above the x squared, the 2x squared. All of your exponents, when they line up, they'll all be the same. So this column right here will be, everything will be an x squared column. This column right here will be all x cubes. And now we have to multiply. We're going to say x squared times this quantity. We have to distribute. Okay, we have to distribute. So we're going to do x squared times x minus 3. So that is x cubed minus 3x squared. And then I just line it right up here. All the appropriate pieces are going to line right up. So we have a So we have an x cubed minus 3x squared. Okay? And now what did we do up here? We subtracted. So now I'm going to subtract. Okay? And when we subtract, what happens to all of these signs? That's right, they change. So do whatever you got to do and make it look like those signs have changed. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my purple pen and I'm going to make them. So I'm going to make this extra long, and then this minus sign will become a plus sign. I say distribute the negative. Okay? So now what happens with x cubed minus x cubed? They cancel. Notice those lined up. And now my x squared and x squared, they line up. Positive 2, positive 3 is a 5x squared. We just did the first step. Now I bring down the negative 3x. And the process starts all over again. We look at this x, and we say x times what is, that's right, 5x squared. Okay? So x times what is 5x squared? Hopefully you'll say 5x. Okay? So right here, so x times what is 5x squared? That's right, 5x. So then where do I put the 5x? That's right, it goes above the 3x. Everything lines up. You need to be neat with your handwriting. So I'm going to put a 5x right here. Now, what is the sign of 5x? That 5x is positive. So then we got to put a plus sign in between here. Okay? So notice this starts our quadratic. So far we have x squared plus 5x and then whatever over here. All right, so now we have to do this. This 5x times this quantity, which becomes 5x squared minus 15x. You got to distribute 5x times x, 5x times 3. So 5x squared minus 15x. And then I'm going to line it up. That's right. Notice how everything lines up. 5x squared and minus 15x. 5x squared minus 15x. Okay? And now what do? That's right. We subtract. And again, when we subtract, what has to happen to these signs? They have to change. That's right, we got to distribute the negative. Some of you on that last test forgot to distribute the negative. All right, so this cancels. Are now negative 3x plus 15x gives us 12x. And then I bring down the plus 5. Okay, and now the process starts all over again. This x times what mysterious value is equal to 12x? That's right, 12. Okay, so now we put the 12 over the 5. And again, what do you know about 12? It's positive, so then I can just put plus 12. And so now it's 12 times this quantity. So we have 12x minus 36. So I want to put this 12x minus 36 under here. And then we subtract. Okay, and now what happens with all these signs? That's right, they have to change. Okay. So those cancel, and now 5, positive 36 is 41. So that 41 is our remainder. And now it's just a matter of properly writing this out. We have to be in this format. This is the quotient. So x squared plus 5x plus 12. And then 41 is positive, plus 41 over the x minus c. Remainder over x. That x minus c is this thing right here, x minus 3. And now we officially did long division. All right, let's do another one. I'll let you pause the video and write down what you need to write down as I take this away. Okay, disappears. Alrighty. We got 2 more to do. All right, now look at this one. This is a 4th degree. Aren't we missing some terms? Yes, we are. We're missing some placeholders, okay? So what are we missing? We're missing an x cubed, so we have to put 0x cubed, and then we're also missing an x squared. So we're missing 2 placeholders, okay? So now let's start the process off. So I have x plus 3. Okay, now I've got to put my, so I have x to the 4th plus 0x to the power of 3 plus 0x squared minus 2x minus 5. Okay? All right. The process is exactly the same. So what, you have a 0x squared. That does not matter. The thing is, you have to have placeholders. So we have everything, so we have stuff to line up. Remember, all your x4s are going to line up. All your x to the 3s are going to line up. All your x to the power of 2s are going to line up. All your x's line up. All your constants line up. Everything's got to line up. All right, let's start the process. This x, remember, we don't care about the 3 until we do our distributive. So this x times what is equal to, that's right, x to the power of 4. All right, what is it? That's right, x to the power of 3. And so now where do I line this up? That's right, I line it up over the power of 3. You do not put it over the power of 4 because then that screws up your pattern. Your everything's supposed to line up. Be neat. If you're not neat, don't ask for help. All right, so now we have to do this x to the power of 3 times this x plus 3. I'm doing that over here. Some of you should be able to do that just in your head. So you have x to the 4th plus 3x to the power of 3. Okay, I'm just showing all my work. If you can do this in your head, do it in your head. You should be able to do that in your head. All right, so we have x to the 4th plus 3x to the power of 3. And now what do? That's right, we subtract. Okay? Yep, and then remember, when we subtract, what has to happen to these signs? Well, they have to change. So that's a big giant negative, and then this plus 3 becomes a minus 3. Okay? So no, yes, those cancel. Notice how they line up? They cancel. Now we have a positive 0 minus 3. So 0 minus 3 is a negative 3x to the power of 3. All right, we just did the hard step. Now everything else is exactly the same. That's right, I bring down the plus 0x. X squared. And the process starts all over again. Okay, so x times what is negative 3x to the power of 3. And that's right, that is a negative 3x squared. And so now where does that line up? Yes, you notice we have a spot for it. X squared, they line right up. And because this is a negative, we make it look like a minus sign, 3x to the power of 2. Okay, and then I'm going to do my work over here. Negative 3x to the power of 2 times the x plus 3. So this times that, the result goes here. So what do we have? Negative 3x to the power of 3 minus 9x squared. So negative 3x to the power of 3 minus 9x squared. And then what do we have to do? That's right, we have to subtract. And when we subtract, what happens to these signs now? That's right, they're changing. So this double negative is a plus, and this minus becomes a plus also. Okay, so now those cancel. And then 0 plus 9, 9x squared. And that's right, we bring down the negative 2x. And the process starts all over again. So this x times what is 9x squared. That's right, hopefully you'll say 9x. And so where do I put the 9x? That's right, above the negative 2x. And because 9 is positive, so plus 9x. Notice all the x's are lining up. All the squares are lining up. All the cubes are lining up. All right, so 9x times this, 9x squared plus 27x. So I'm going to put that here, 9x squared plus 27x. And now what do? That's right, we subtract. So what's happening to my signs? That's right, they're changing, so I'll make that nice and big. This plus becomes a minus. This cancels, and we have negative 29x. Okay, now what do? That's right, bring down the negative 5. And the process starts all over again. X times what is negative 29x? And hopefully you'll say negative 29. And now where does that go? That's right, right above here. And we have to do negative 29 times this so we can figure out our remainder. So negative 29 times the x plus 3 is negative 29x minus 3 times 29. What's that? 97. 3 times 9 is 7. Carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 87. There. And now I put this under here. And we subtract. And what happens to all my signs? That's right, they change. So this becomes a plus, right? That becomes a plus. That becomes a plus because we subtracted, and this left with an 82 for a remainder. And now we just have to write it out properly. So it's x cubed minus 3x squared plus 9x minus 29, and 82 is positive, so plus 82 over x plus 3. And we just did our long division. Okay? All right. That's not hard. Pretty easy, isn't it? Yes, it is. All right, so let's do this last one. All right, so I got 2x plus, so we're doing this division. I know it has a 2x here. This is why I wanted to do it, and there's even a 2x there. That's okay. We're doing it together. So 2x to the third plus x squared minus 15x minus 20. Notice it's a power of 3. It's a third degree. All the exponents are there. 3, 2, 1. We're not missing anything. We don't need a placeholder. Up here we needed 2 placeholders because we're missing 2 spots. We're missing the cubed and the squared. Okay. All right. That's right. We don't care about the plus 3. All we care about is 2x. So it starts off the same. Now it's 2x times what mysterious value is equal to 2x cubed. That's right. It's just x squared. And so where do I put that x squared? I'll put the x squared above So I'll put the x squared above the x squared. And so that's right, x squared times this. X squared times 2x plus 3. That gives us 2x to the third plus 3x squared. And I'll line it up right here. So 2x to the third, 2x to the third, plus 3x to the power of 2. And then what do? That's right, we subtract. I got to write a little bigger for you guys, don't I? All right, so then this, right, when we subtract, we got to remember, we got to change your signs, distribute the negative. I'll make that nice and big, put the minus sign there. So this cancels, and then this gives us a negative 2x squared. And that's right, we bring down the negative 15 now. Negative 15x. All right, you know it. The process starts all over again. So this 2x times what is this negative 2x squared? There it is right there. That's what we're worrying about, this and this. And hopefully you'll say a negative x. Let me do that in red. Try and be consistent with my colors. There, negative x. So 2x times negative x is negative 2x. And where do I put the negative x? That's right above the negative 15x. Notice all of the x's are lining up. All the x squares are lining up. Okay? And so it's negative x times 2x plus 3. That's negative 2x squared minus 3x. I just line it right up. Negative 2x squared minus 3x. There it is right there. Remember, we did our multiplication. And now I subtract. That's right, we subtract. And when we're subtracting, what happens to my signs? That's right, they change. So this double negative is a plus. And this minus 3 right here becomes a plus. So this cancels, and then I have negative 15x plus 3x gives us negative 12x. And that's it. Bring down the negative 20. And we start all over again. 2x times what is negative 12x? That's right, and hopefully you'll say negative 6. And then I multiply negative 6 times 2x plus 3, and we have negative 12x minus 18. And then we change the signs, and we have negative 2 as a remainder. That's it. There's your remainder. Then we just got to write it out properly. And it's a negative, so you can put minus 2 over 2x plus 3. There you go, guys. All done with long division.